Why not?
Good point.
Welcome. Okay. Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 215. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we'll be discussing the Safe Life Soft Armor review, an abomination from Smith & Wesson, and some G43 stuff. And tonight on the podcast, we have Rob, Tony, and Zane as per usual. So who wants to go first on what they did in firearms?
Hey, your boy Tone to go first since I got a new nickname.
Tone. It's Tone.
It's Tone.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's 4 friggin' letters, dude. How do you cut down on that? Anyway, since Lazy Lips McGee introduced me, let me go ahead and talk about what I did in guns.
Where the hell's that mute button?
My big thing, if you guys follow me on the gram or the Facebooks, is I was up at the Great American Outdoor Show. My big thing this week was dry firing a lot of guns, checking out a lot of guns, taking photos of a lot of guns, and trying to get sponsors for the Diversity Shoot. So I've gone through a bunch of different people. I met a lot of folks from a lot of different companies that you guys may know of. And I've got lucky and gotten some help from some of them, like Crudo Knives. We talked about that last week. They donated some knives. High Point has decided to donate a few things, and when they come through with them and I have them in my hot little hands, I'll let you guys know about it. And stuff like that. Oh, and Timber Creek Outdoors really hooked up the Rob rifle. So if you follow Instagram, you saw all the parts, accessories they donated. So we're
Of course they hooked you up. Us people from Oregon are nice.
Yes, they were really nice and they were awesome. So I can't wait to hook this rifle up with that stuff. And Matador Arms is also sending some stuff to be hooked up. So this is going to be a really cool rifle. And I really want to let people know the companies that support grassroots organization like mine and support your Second Amendment rights. So that's what I did this week in guns.
Sweet. Who's next, Rob?
You gonna call me Ro now?
Ro? Yeah.
Ro dog.
It's Ro and Zan.
Well, I had to make an emergency trip to North Carolina because my cat got real sick and I had to take him to a vet that I actually trusted. And while I was up there, I got to hang out with some relatives over the weekend, and we went to the range and did some shooting. And here's one thing that I've totally confirmed. I didn't realize this, but the first rifle I shot was my relative's rifle, and it was 200 yards. I'm racking rounds with it, and I've got a nice group going, but it's at 11 o'clock, about 4 inches out. And I'm sitting there going, this is just weird. Then I noticed that the zoom on the scope was cranked all the way up. And I said, God, this is just crazy. Switched to a different rifle, 100 yards. I cranked the zoom out to 10 power, and I put a nice little group just below the bullseye where the rounds were all touching each other. I believe that one was a SIG MCX, and then we shot a few pistols. You know, all in all, good day at the gun range.
Nice.
That's
nice.
The lesson for the week is just because you have a 24 power scope does not mean you need to use it when you're shooting under 600 yards.
Exactly. So now we'll let Zane chime in and tell his story or stories.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
He did. Probably, but
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Tell me you recorded that.
I got it.
We're live on the internet.
It's on the YouTubes.
Yeah, I actually went out and did some carbine work. I hadn't put rounds through a rifle in a while, so that was fun. I'm in the middle of doing a review on a free float rail handguard, we're going to call it. So did some of that. Oh, I finished. Well, actually, in order to do that, I had to build a notch wall first. So I found a bunch of crap I had laying around the house, and I built a little notch wall / barricade simulator and dragged it out to my range and commenced to try to beat up this rail and put some rounds downrange, and it was fun.
Nice. Let's see. What I did was, well, I finished a review, but we'll talk about that later. My son and I went up to Portland. It's the Northwest Sportsman Show, which is basically 90% fishing stuff, including boats, etc. But there are a few firearms companies, knife companies, stuff like that that are there. So it was pretty cool. Saw a new optic that I'd never seen. It's Maven is the company name. They've been making binoculars and stuff. It's Maven built, and they started making a 2.5 to 15 power scope, and that was pretty cool. And then there were some pretty cool safe organizers and then they also make muzzle brakes from a company, Madhouse Designs. They're down in Grants Pass or somewhere down south in Oregon. But their muzzle brakes look pretty cool. They have a cool little, it's like they use a spanner wrench. And they make a little lock for your muzzle brakes, which looked pretty cool. You just kind of lock it with a little spanner wrench right onto your muzzle brake and keeps it so you don't have to use crush washers or shims or anything like that. So that was pretty cool. I actually liked it. I'm thinking about getting one. So that's about what I did. So I guess we'll go into announcements. Bandwidth sponsor is our buddies at Patriot Patch Co. I still can't get Ryan to make us a Kilt in the Streets patch, but hey, I keep trying. I don't know if there's new patches for pre-order, but there is the Patch of the Month Club. This month it was the Opposites Attract, so you can go check it out. I don't know what next month will be, so I can't really tell you there. Listener support program, go to the support page, which is firearmsradio.tv/pledge gun gear review podcast if you want to pledge some money to the show. If you're shopping Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to donate to the 2A4E diversity shoot by buying stuff from Black Bag Resources, you can use the code Simon Says Train, all capitals, and anything you purchase with that code will be given to the diversity shoot. So I guess we'll go it on to what our buddy Rob, or Roe, or whatever we're calling him today, has to read.
Row. Our buddy now. I'm your buddy? Aw.
Well,
the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows.
Or when Zane's here. Oh.
All three of us
okay.
are. Are you kidding me?
It's especially true. It's especially true when my camera's on.
Yeah. We don't want to see that. Yes. I actually have a review, so another one. And this week I'm going to review the Safe Life Defense soft body armor. There's a ton of pictures in the link that takes you to the Firearms Insider page, because otherwise you can't really see much on my camera. You see stuff that looks like a vest and stuff like that, so I won't show too much on there. Safe Life Defense contacted me a while back and wanted to know if we wanted to review some of their body armor, and of course I've said yes. I mean, why would you not want to? So they sent some armor, told me I could shoot it and see what I came up with. They make a bunch of different styles of carriers and armor combos. The one they sent is their concealable enhanced multi-threat level 3A plus vest. And if you don't know what that is, a little later in the review, there's a link to their site that has a lot of good information on the different threat levels, what they'll stop, etc. So, of course, when you receive a vest, what do? You try it on, because that's what kind of people we are. The vest is pretty comfortable. I was pretty impressed. It's got a mesh style liner that's supposed to help keep it cooler, it's comfortable. It even, with that mesh liner, if you put it over a t-shirt, it still kind of slides around, doesn't like pull the t-shirt up too bad, or an undershirt or whatever you happen to be wearing underneath it. The vest has, really, I put in the review, 6 comfort straps that use hook and loop with elastic between each of them. Actually, the shoulder straps don't have elastic. It's just the side 4. Those are just solid, but they are Velcro adjustable, so you can adjust them. One for the shoulder, 1 strap for each shoulder, and then 2 on each sides. I put in here that, I have a bit of a belly, meaning I'm fat. And the vest adjusted pretty nice and felt well. It kind of sucked in my stomach. So, maybe I should wear it more often so I look better. That's not going to happen. It's typical with most armor. When you crouch down or something, like to pick something up, the vest rises up a little bit. It's not like you can really do anything about it. I mean, for what you're getting, the protection, it's one of the kind of things you have to deal with. I did notice that if you carry, or at least inside the waistband, the vest can get in the way of the draw depending on where you wear your holster. And because, it sticks out. So there is that. If it's an outside the waistband rig, it doesn't cause near as many problems. And because of the style of this vest, it wraps around your sides more than some other vests. They say 15% more, which may be some of the problem as to why you can't draw the gun as well on certain, like if you're carrying at 3 o'clock or so. I'd give it a thumbs up for comfort. I didn't have any problems with it. I did disassemble the vest before I destroyed it, basically. The outer shell, which is the black kind of carrier, is a ripstop polyester. It takes a pretty good beating from being shot. There's pictures of it where it hit all over the place after we did the initial shooting on it. I don't think the seams would let you down. The edge seams, we put some rounds through, not on purpose, but they ended up. So I, of course, because it's ripstop, I tried to pull on it to see what would happen. It didn't really do anything. It just looks all kind of frayed, and that's about all it is. But the inner panels, of course, where all the ballistic protection is, it's constructed, it's a red kind of outer fabric with the Kevlar sheets inside. It's about a 1/2 inch thick, maybe up to like 3/4 when it's in the whole vest complete. The seams inside the panel are kind of like melted, welded together. And it's also a ripstop fabric. So when you shoot the vest or stab it, because it does have a slight protection from stabbing and slashing, it doesn't want to tear apart. So that's also a good thing. When we shot the vest, we did have a 357 round shoot about 1 inch from one of the seams, and it kind of blew a kind of hole right before the seam. It stopped around, didn't cause any more damage to the vest. The shots didn't go through. But hey, it seemed to work, did what it was supposed to for that. After we shot the vest, I actually took it apart. Inside the fabric, there's the thin sheets of Kevlar stacked on top of each other. I didn't count them, but I'll hold it up here in a second so you guys get an idea of what it's like. But it did work. And then on the back, on the part that goes against your chest and back, there was a white, like, closed cell foam thing to give you a little more comfort. And probably if you were to actually take a hit from it or something, it would help the deformation not hurt so bad, I guess. The vest does use a different front and rear panel size. The rear panel is actually larger than the front panel. I did try to swap them around to see, and of course, that's when I learned they were different sizes. They have it's just kind of a panel that goes across with more hook and loop that you can slide it in, slide it out to, wash it and do stuff like that. Also on the front of and back of the carrier, they have another pocket for running rifle plates if you would like. So you can run them in the same vest, which is kind of a nice plus if you are running rifle plates. The vest held up well for testing. I'm going to show you this picture. This is the Kevlar inside, all the little sheets of Kevlar. There's what it looks like after you shoot the hell out of it. So there is that. Now I'll get into the stopping ability, or at least what we decided to shoot at it. I made a wood-backed target stand. I put a USPSA target on, white side out. Then I put the vest over that. And then we shot it that way. You could kind of see in the wood how hard something hit because it would put a little dent in it. We shot all these things at 10 yards. I will tell you what it stopped first. As you know, it stopped 22 long rifle, 9mm in a 5-inch pistol. It stopped 115 grain full metal jacket, 124 grain plus B hollow points, 147 grain flat points. With 357, it stopped. It was a 6-inch revolver, 158 grain jacketed hollow points, and 125 grain full metal jackets. It stopped the 40s that we shot at it. Yeah, I know. We shot 40s at it. We had a 6-inch 41 Magnum revolver. It stopped the 210 grain jacketed hollow points, which was pretty cool. Stopped 45 ACP, which doesn't really surprise anybody. And because it is a 3A plus, it stopped 3-inch buckshot out of a 12 gauge and 3-inch slugs out of a 12 gauge, which was pretty impressive because the 12 gauge slugs, every time we shot one of it at it, we had to go set up the stupid target because it would knock it over, if that tells you anything. It did not stop a 17 HMR full metal jacket 20 grain out of a rifle. We kind of didn't figure it would stop this teeny bullet. So the one that it didn't stop that kind of surprised me was we shot it with 110 grain 30 carbine ammo out of a 30 carbine rifle, and it did not stop those. It's not rated to, but I thought maybe it might. And then of course it did not stop the 220 grain subsonic 300 blackout.
That one actually surprises me.
It has to.
But
it
you
has
had
to
shot
do,
the vest up pretty considerably
well,
when you shot it with that, right?
When we shot these, we did all these first, and that's kind of the order we did them in. But like with the rifles and the slugs and stuff, it wasn't hard. I mean, it's 10 yards. It wasn't hard to shoot it where it hadn't been shot.
Yeah. I'm just saying, that's just weird that it would stop the slug, but not a subsonic 300 black. Subsonic 300 blackouts.
It's the pointed bullet is really why.
Yeah, it just fits your bullet and is moving at 1,000 feet per second, right? I mean, 1,000 feet per.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, it in the 30 carbine. It kind of. I mean, we tested it. It's not rated for either of them, but I figured, they're kind of on the fringe of what it should stop.
Vest, right?
Yes. I wonder if the 5.7 will penetrate it.
Yes, I'm sure
actually, they say it's a 3A plus vest, so there is one 5.7 round that it's rated for. And I don't know which one it is. I'd have to look on their webpage.
And here's something to let people know. Yeah, just because the bullet was stopped does not mean that force would be stopped.
Oh no,
So
you would
only
be
on
so
television
bruised.
yeah, only on
So
TV
you'd
will
be feeling
someone get
pain.
hit with a shotgun and fall down. Feeling pain, that could cause your heart to palpitate. You could just drop dead.
Yeah, no,
Oh yeah.
it's going to stop that slug, but you're going to have broken ribs.
Oh yeah. And
And I wonder what the back face deformation would be on that. I mean, so obviously with the stuff it's rated for, I'm assuming they followed proper protocol.
yeah,
There's a certain amount of back deformation you're
force.
allowed.
Yeah.
Back for. But I'm wondering with the buckshot and the slug specifically, what kind of deformation you're going to get on the back. I imagine
okay, with the way I did it, the buckshot didn't really do as much as you would have thought.
Really?
But the slug put...
Oh, that slug did.
Oh, it put kind of an oblong, about like so, dent about, probably about a quarter of an inch in the wood.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get a good picture of it.
If you were wearing it, you'd be feeling some pain today.
Right, and it knocked our stand over, and the slug was the only thing that knocked it over.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some of the others,
energy.
yeah, some of the others would make it kind of wobble a little bit, because I mean, it's just a target stand, so the feet were only 3 feet long or whatever. So I also, after I brought it home, I tried to stab it with a pocket knife, basically a spire point. It didn't really do much. But if you had like a makeshift shiv or ice pick or something, I think you would be able to stab it a little more, because small pointed things tend to go through stuff better.
Yep.
There's a picture. Well, there's a lot of pictures, like I said, in there. There's one of all the bullets that we pulled out of the vest when I tore it apart, minus a few that are floating around the garage floor somewhere. But basically, those are all the bullets that it stopped, even shooting it in spots that it was already damaged in. So I had a couple buddies with me that helped me test it. That way we could get more of the guns that we thought we needed to test it. They were them and me, whatever. We were all pleased with the outcome. I know it's my Oregon grammar. If in my opinion, I'd trust it with what it's rated for. Of course, like you guys said, it's not going to feel good if you happen to get shot while wearing the vest. But if it's within its 5-year lifespan and you have like a police report or something that says you got shot and you were wearing it, they will replace it free of charge. So I guess that's always a plus. Not that you ever want that to happen, but it's a plus. And of course, 5-year rating's pretty standard for most of them. If you need soft body armor, they even make some hard rifle plates. Give Safe Life Defense a look. I was thrilled at the opportunity to see what the armor would do. It didn't actually let me down. If you ever get a chance to shoot body armor, do it, because it's a blast, and I think it gives you a better idea of what body armor will actually help you with or stop. So I'll get into the Firearms Insider 8 key points. Claim to fame: it is level 3A plus rated soft body armor. Target market: police, EMS, security instructors, or just anybody wanting or needing soft body armor for what they're doing. Features and benefits: we already went over the level. It is bullet, strike, slash, stab, and special threat resistance. And the special threat resistance is Liberty Civil Defense 9mm and FN 5.7 by 28 40 grain. So that's the one special, or the two special threats. The spike stab rating is NIJ level 1 up to 36 joules of force. I have no way of measuring how much force I stabbed it with. So it's constructed with custom Kevlar. It does have the side protection. It's fairly concealable for a vest. It was engineered for comfort and maneuverability, which it worked pretty well while I was wearing it. It has the cooling mesh liner, which, I mean, is body armor, so it's hot, but I live in Oregon. It doesn't get that hot, so it has the 10-point adjustable comfort straps, the low-profile pockets for the rifle plates, and it's made of a water-resistant ripstop polyester carrier. You can get this particular vest in sand or white colored. They make a bunch of different other styles, like EMS vests that have a bunch of pockets. Then, your one with different attachments and stuff like that. I just put links to what others are saying. They have tons of stuff on their website. There is a review link. AmmoLand did a review on it also. The price point, the MSRP is $499 because it's the level 3A plus. I think just the level 3 is like $399. If you need it now, Safe Life Defense looks like about the best place to get it. So our ratings, the pros, I like the comfort straps. They kind of move with you as you're moving, and if you're fat, it helps. I liked it had the rifle plate pouches built in. The vent liner was nice. It is comfortable, and it is level 3A plus rated. The cons, it is a little heavy. It weighs like 7 pounds on my scale. And being a vest, they can be hot, especially in hotter weather. So the score I gave it was 8 of great. You guys got any questions?
Yeah, on the special threats, it's only calling that 157 round and that Liberty Defense round. Those are the only special threats it's calling?
That's the only special threats it's calling.
Because I would think, I'm not a armor expert, but I'm pretty sure 41 Magnum isn't covered under standard 3A. So if yours was stopping 41 Magnum, I would think that'd be a special threat. I believe if 3A is 350 is rated at a certain amount of rounds of 357 Magnum from a 4.5 inch barrel, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, and I'm looking at their website, getting it up to see if it specifies.
That's the thing with body armor. Body armor is really tricky.
It is kind of tricky.
The rating system is kind of wonky.
Yeah, see, I looked at their website. I looked at the NIJ actual website, and there is so much information on like the NIJ website on body armor. It's just your eyes glaze over.
Yeah. Well, the one thing about it is it's the scale, the rating scale they use, for one, isn't cumulative, and for two, the A just designates pistols, and if you take the A away, so at level 3 is a rifle rated plate that sometimes won't stop pistols, but a level 3A is pistol. So the whole ranking system is just weird the way they do that.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. My things being slow. They have kind of a pie chart on their thing. Let's see, 3A, 44 mag.
Okay, so
41. Actually, level 2 lists 41 mag.
Okay,
so
the thing is though that the scales aren't cumulative. Just because
right.
That's the other weird part. Like a level 4 plate will not necessarily stop what a level 3 plate will, and the same thing with 2A and 3A. So
let me explain something to you though. If you got shot by a 41 Magnum, you were probably trying to steal that guy's unicorn.
Right.
Who do you know has 41 Magnum?
Well, I mean,
one of my best friends.
Uh-huh.
He's a freaking unicorn, I guess.
Exactly.
That or like the 70-year-old guy who runs the local gun shop, and it's been there for like 48 years, and ain't no one taking his stuff.
Here's the thing.
My friend probably bought it when the guy died at the local gun shop.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The 41 Magnum came out after the 44 Magnum. And, I mean, for people that don't know, that way you don't have to wiki it or Google it. It came out, and it had that perfect spot between 357 and 44 that it could do the work. It could reach out. It was flat shooting in a pistol. It was even flatter shooting in a lever action. But semi-autos came about. Yeah, it's a great cartridge and a really hot 10 millimeter equals the low end of a 41 Magnum, to let you know exactly where the 41
That's kind of what they
stands.
were going for with 10 mil.
The 10 millimeter. So that's just letting you guys know what it is. And it hit that sweet spot. But what happened was, I think Smith & Wesson decided to be cautious with it and didn't load it hot. So that's like making the people that load 10 millimeter ammo and only have it as hot as a 40 Smith & Wesson. It's useless. And that pretty much made it miss the park. So everybody who was into 44s were into 44s. People that were into 357 was into 357. There was no reason for anybody to step down or step up to 41 Magnum. So it kind of is just one of those cartridges that has a huge fan base that never let it die.
Yeah, it's a niche cartridge for a you know, there's a group of people that love it though. I mean, I've shot a couple 41 Magnums and they're very interesting. They don't recoil like a 44. But
they hit harder than a 357.
But they hit right. And I don't feel like they recoil that much harder than a 357. I think that's because the guns typically are much heavier though, so.
Yeah, here's the crazy part. It is better, but there's just less bullets for it, and the rounds are more expensive. So you know,
and you know me, handgun bullets are handgun bullets, rifle bullets are rifle bullets. Meh.
I love you say that like you've discovered something.
I did.
Handgun bullets, handgun bullet.
That's what
water's wet. Water's wet and fire's hot.
Okay.
Sometimes you gotta state the obvious, man.
On a more serious note, Chad, you never really wore this armor during the summer, correct?
Correct.
Because I was wondering, being down here in the great state of Florida, from pretty much February through December, it's hot as all get out.
Oh yeah.
And July, August being hotter than Hades.
It was warm wearing it around the house when it was 70 degrees in here.
Okay. Oh, I do love it. I so want to hear what your wife has to say while you're walking around the house with a vest on. For no reason.
You guys have pop in here before, and she just rolls her eyes. So she's kind of, you know.
She's like, oh, that's just Chad.
Well, my daughter would come up to me and hit me and say, "How's that feel?"
You gotta love it.
It's not fist resistant.
Well, it is. It actually is better than getting punched without it.
Chad's wife is in the background going, "That's not the weirdest thing he's worn around the house."
No, not my long shot.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move into the product spotlight.
Can you send the armor plates back to them and get new ones for their warranty?
Can
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably. Well,
they say they'll.
I have to be. I had to be wearing it then. Oh. And I wasn't going to wear it and let my friends shoot me. I mean, come on.
Okay, well, I'll come up there. I'll shoot you if you wear it.
No, I'll pass.
No, hard
no.
Pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pass. Product spotlight. First up, we have the Smith & Wesson M&P 380 Shield EZ. Okay. And because people were talking about this, our buddy Zane wanted us to put this in here. So I'm going to go over some of the stuff first before Zane says good things and bad things about it. Because that's, you know, I'm going to say some good things about it. Maybe a few things. Basically, it's their M&P 2.0 family. It's the shield size, basically. So the 9mm shield size, but it is 380. Features: easy to rack slide. Okay. Crisp light trigger. Okay. Easy to load 8-round M&P 380 shield magazines. That seems curious to me. Would like to know how well they're going to run, if they like have a reduced spring or if they come with some fancy loader, or I don't know. It doesn't say.
I'll tell you.
Okay. You tell me when you do later. It does have a grip safety. Okay. Now, one of the reasons it probably has a grip safety is because they got rid of the double curved trigger safety that they had before. So it's just a normal trigger. It doesn't have a little deal in the center or the pivoting bottom part. Windage adjustable rear sight, of course. You can disassemble it without pulling the trigger. Normal texture for them. Loaded chamber indicator. You can get it with or without a ambidextrous thumb safety. It's got a pick rail at the front for lights or lasers. Reversible magazine release. 18-degree grip angle. Corrosion resistant finish. It is 8+1. It weighs 18.5 ounces. Let's see. I think everything, the action, as they say, is internal hammer fired. So it is not a striker fired pistol like you would kind of be led to believe, which, in my guess, since they got rid of the trigger safety, one of the reasons they put the grip safety. But one good thing about the grip safety is it's hinged at the bottom so that you probably have less of a chance of not engaging it like a 1911, because it pivots at the top. Sometimes if you don't grab the pistol quite right, you won't disengage the grip safety. When it pivots at the bottom, you have a much better chance of grabbing it correctly so that it disengages the grip safety. But then you don't get the adjustable back straps like the rest of the M&P line has. So I guess it's a trade-off. Now, for somebody, if it is actually an easy-to-use slide and magazine, I can see how somebody with, less hand strength that wants an automatic style, semi-automatic style pistol, this could be good for them, because yes, some semi-automatic pistols, most, are pretty hard to rack the slide on for a lot of people. I would have liked to maybe see it in 9mm. If maybe they can make a 9mm that has an easy slide. But hey, this is what they came out with.
9mm, you got to have a much stiffer recoil spring, though. That would kind of defeat the purpose, I think.
I know, and I think being the size of this gun, it's probably a nice shooter with the 380 cartridge. So if you have already hand strength problems, it's probably going to be easier for you to shoot a 380 than a 9mm. Okay, who's next on the list?
So the main reason I wanted to talk about this is, and don't get me wrong, I do want to hate on it, and I'm going to. But I think a lot of the hate it's been getting on the internet is kind of unfair. Most of the hate I've seen on this has to do with the fact that it has external safeties. And while I am by no means a fan of external safeties on a carry gun, this is a hammer-fired single-action gun. And I think a lot of people forget that. Single-action hammer-fired guns, because of the way they operate, have to have some sort of manual safeties on them. So I don't think a lot of that hate is fair. Now, the rest of it, I think, is totally fair.
What's the rest of it? Because I stopped listening to people that never touched it since it only came out Tuesday. And they didn't even have one to touch until frickin' Friday.
Did you get to put hands on it, Tony?
Yep. Got to get hands on it, got to pull the trigger, got to check out the reset, got to check out the easy load mag, and got to find out it is not a single action.
Well, the website I'm looking at right here says single action.
The American Handgunner article that we linked in the show notes said that it was a single action, but I assumed it was more like the Ruger action that we talked about with the LCP2 and their
trigger lock is actually a good trigger on it. It's hilarious. It's not a single action. It's a here's what happens. This is what it was explained to me. That safety is also kind of like a cocker. When you load it, when you rack the slide, it's real easy because it only does it halfway. When you pick it up and squeeze that cocker, it retracts the striker the other half. So just loading the magazine and racking the slide is not fully cocked. When you grab that grip safety, it finished cocking it, and it's also, of course, a grip safety. So that's what makes it so easy to rack. And it is so smooth. It's half the pull weight of a Shield. It's way lighter than their 2.0. It's light enough for me to go, I think I might buy one just for students with weak hand strength and like children and people who just have weak hand strength, young ladies, older people, people with
Zane.
arthritis. This is perfect, dude. And the easy load magazines are set up just like the ones on a Ruger pistol, a Ruger 22.
Oh, with the
It has a
slide.
it has a slide and the two airs on the side. I didn't know no one had pictures of it because I took pictures of the magazine. I'll post them tomorrow. So you'll be able to see them on the Instagram and my social media.
Sweet.
I like this thing. I like it a lot. The grip safety itself, people need to really get the hell over it. It's funny to me because they act as if they've never heard of XDs or 1911s for the last 100 years. And again, it cocks the gun. And if you don't like it, it ain't for you.
Does it
Get over
cock the gun or like so?
it. You rack it. You rack the slide.
So explain to me how.
But
So
the
if I
hammer
grab
is
the
not-
pistol, now
Uh-huh.
I've finished cocking the hammer, basically.
It finishes cocking the hammer.
If I
when you
release the
press that
pistol,
safety.
does it half decock automatically?
Makes no difference. You're not going to be able to pull the trigger. So what difference does it make what it does?
I think it makes a difference.
Okay, cool. Then you tell them to redesign it. I'm just telling you.
But I'm asking, does it do that?
I'm just telling you it cocks itself fully.
So then when you release
When you
it,
grab
does it release that last bit, or does it stay cocked?
It probably stays cocked, but it doesn't go off unless you
Alright.
squeeze the safety. So,
But
again.
that's the thing.
And
Is
the
it more
reason they-
like an H&K P7?
Oh, and hold on. No. And this is also because I'm trying. What happened is I walked up to him and I started talking to her. And I was like, well, let me write this down. And she was like, well, we can't do that unless we do a press release. So I'm going by what she told me. She goes, you rack the slide and you grab the safety and it cocks it the rest of the way. That's what I recall her saying. And when you release it, it's a drop safety. So the gun won't go off even if you act like these new geniuses do and beat it with a hammer. It's not going to go off unless you hold the grip safety. It's set up to not go off. Mm-hmm.
I guess my question
What's
is,
up?
how would this compare to a regular, like a striker fire 380, or have you talked to a regular 380?
The trigger pull is a trigger pull. I didn't find anything discernibly different.
I meant charging.
I didn't find it. Charging it is way different. Oh my God!
Racking
I had
it.
that bodyguard 380 they have. Yeah,
Right.
that's never gonna happen. Oh my goodness, the difference between them is night and day. I would never recommend the bodyguard 380 to anyone because it's just horribly difficult to rack. I mean, anyone with any kind of hand strength issues. You know what I mean? The only thing good about that is you can fit it in, one of those little pocket holsters. This is actually, the barrel is like half an inch or a little more longer than the one on a Shield. So it's a little bit longer. It has a longer sight radius. What is that? The Beretta 82 or Beretta 83? They have a double stack 380 that's a little bit beefy and bigger.
Yeah,
I
whatever
like
model
those.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I like those because it gives people with weaker hand strength a firearm to use, but it's in 380. 380 is fine, especially now with advances in ammunition, but it's still about where you put the bullet because it's still a pistol round. So
There's
you need
still
to put
not a
the round
lot
where
of
it needs
380
to go.
rounds that are passing the FBI.
Yeah, you know what? I don't care
Standards.
about the FBI thing. It gives you a standard, but it's
Yeah.
not written in
There's
stone.
a lot of smart people that put those standards together for a reason.
Yeah, they weren't retarded either when they picked the first one that got their butt kicked in Miami.
Whoa.
So, they weren't retards. So my thing about the FBI standard is it's a standard. It's like mil spec. It gives you an even table and even testing across
Yeah, but mil
the
spec's
board.
completely misunderstood too.
Again, mil spec is just a standard. It's not even the best. It's just this is what it's like, so we can do this whole switch one weapon with the other interchangeability. It is not how good it is. It's a standard, and the FBI testing is a standard.
So I
But
think the
when you
bottom
put it
line
on,
is this would be a really good gun for somebody who doesn't have the upper body strength to fully rack a slide
yeah,
on a regular 380 or 9mm.
I had a lady who just could not grip anything. It's not her strength; she just could not grip something. This has little ridges on the back, like the wings on an HK, so it gives you that. Also, the rings on the HK VP9, it has that stop for somebody to actually do that. Their thing is aimed at a particular audience, and I think it's really smart because that Bodyguard 380 is a horrible semi-auto to give somebody with weaker hand strength because you're worried about their recoil management. I like the
Yeah.
fact it's bigger.
So one of the probably the most common failure point on the XD line of pistols is the grip safety itself. There's parts in there that tend to break. So I'd be real curious to see some extended testing on this because I just, unless they've got a much better design, I'd be hesitant. The other thing I'd be curious to see about if this is being put out aimed at people that don't have decent grip strength or don't have decent upper body. This is who the target market is for that. And one thing you tend to see with those same people are you tend to see a lot of user-induced malfunctions because along with racking a slide and loading a magazine and all these other things, if you limp wrist a semi-automatic pistol, especially one that's designed to be set up for ease of use, I can see how that could possibly induce failures. So again, I haven't shot it, so I don't know. But just
I haven't shot it either, but there's a couple things. I look at it this way: this is Smith and Wesson. They've been making guns for a really long time. Does not mean they can't make a lemon.
I was gonna say Remington's been making guns for a really long time too.
Stop.
So,
Remington doesn't count anymore. Freedom Group.
I'm just saying.
Freedom Group.
They're $1 billion in debt.
Freedom Group.
Okay.
It's just the bad luck of Freedom Group. But
go ahead.
With this, it's a couple things. It's not a duty firearm, so you're not going to do a 5,000 round check on it. More than likely, none of the tactical Timmies that require a duty type performance out of firearms are going to shoot 380, 5,000 rounds because they wouldn't be caught dead with it because 380 doesn't steal your soul or whatever silliness tactical Timmies say now. 380 will get you killed in the streets. This is a self-defense, what they used to call belly gun. I don't think they're limited that much distance, especially with this, with the sight radius and the length of barrel it has. It's a 3 3/4 inch barrel on it. So it's almost the same length as the Compact 2.0, the Smith & Wesson Compact 2.0. I feel if it lives up to the hype, it will be a decent pistol. I'd rather have one of these, again, to teach some of the people that can't rack a slide. I'd really rather have something like this. It won't have that much recoil because it is 18 ounces, 18 and a half ounces. So it's not a lightweight gun. I mean, not.
Yeah, I'm going to throw something out there for you guys that I don't think
18.5 ounce.
Yeah.
18.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you caught, or since when Tony was explaining it, that the grip safety also kind of cocks the hammer the rest of the way. So
Right.
what I'm wondering is, and since that one article said it was a single action, so
Does it
once you do that,
right?
Well,
that's what I'm trying to
is
figure
it
out too.
when it cocks it the rest of the way, it essentially would be a single action then, by the sounds of it.
It'll be a single action without a thumb safety if you choose
Because
to have no thumb safety on it.
I'm thinking it is a single action because the trigger's only performing one action. If that grip safety is cocking the hammer the rest of the way, then
right,
that trigger is performing a single action.
right, and I think kind of everybody's right, but until they actually say something or actually, more information comes out.
She did. She didn't say it as a single action because that would have actually perked my ears up. I was thinking it's just double action and it cocks it, but yeah, I guess whatever. Yeah. It is what it is. It won't go off. It's set up not to actually fire unless that grip safety is pushed.
Right.
I don't think it's a horrible idea. I think way too many people on the internet drink the same Kool-Aid and repeat what their favorite guy says.
But I got to.
That just seems to be the number one failure of the other polymer gun with a grip safety is the spring in there. So
right, but
I'm sure Smith and Wesson probably heard something about that before they did.
And the other thing too is, like I mentioned, it's pivots from the bottom, not the top, which the
they
other
probably had to do that in order to get enough leverage to cock that string.
Again.
There's a good chance. Yeah.
Cock the hammer, also ease of use, because the entire thing is built around that concept.
Right.
It's really going to depend on if this is reliable or not. There's a lot of stuff going on with it, and
there's a lot of stuff going on with it.
There's
a lot of stuff going on with a 1911. A lot of stuff going on with a high power. There's a lot of stuff going on with a CZ75.
Yeah, but they discontinued the high powers.
With a lot of things.
The high powers are no more. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna.
They disappear.
I forget. Yeah.
They run off a cliff.
I forgot to mention.
I think just because people use them is not indicative of the fact that they're good. And I'm not saying high powers aren't good, but I don't think that's a correlation you can make.
I will mention the M&P 380EZ comes in at $399. So
that's, you're looking at that less than street price.
Yeah.
Sure.
$350 expensive, street price probably $320. Yeah, who knows?
$300 at Buds or Tanner's in PA. Let me say something else. Really, people, I have no idea who's in charge of naming your guns, but for real, this is the best you can. For real,
hey.
At least they didn't give it 7 numbers that make no sense at all.
Yeah, this could.
Come on, dude.
Well, they almost
did. A Smith & Wesson M&P 380 Shield EZ. At least they didn't put grip zone on the side. That's the only thing good I have to say about
that's the 3.0. Come on. Oh. Okay, well, we didn't hate on it too bad, so don't hate us too bad. Now we're going to move into something else. There's actually 2 things listed here. They kind of go together, is why I stuck them both in the show notes. The Glock store has introduced or reintroduced their new SS80. It is an 80% Glock 43 style frame. MSRP on it's $129.99. So basically, what it is it's very similar to the Polymer 80, except it's a Glock 43. It's got an undercut trigger guard. Very similar. Let's look at it's got a textured grip frame, double undercut trigger, extended rear rail system, an extended beaver tail. It's got a locking block rail system. It's got a blank serialization panel. It comes with the drill bits and the jig fixture to complete it. Of course, you need lower parts kits, upper parts kits. But it is one of the newer style, build it yourself Glocks in the small compact size, just like a Polymer 80. I mean, it looks very similar, except it's a smaller size. And I don't know, if you want to build a custom 43, this might be the way to go. What do you guys think?
Isn't this made by Polymer 80?
It doesn't say so, but so I'm not going to specify if it is or not.
Okay, because I thought I heard that the Glock store was getting a Polymer 80 pistol that was their own. So anyways.
By the looks of it and everything that comes with it, it looks very similar. But I'm not going to say that it is made by them, because...
And would form follow function with one of these, so it's all going to look similar anyway?
Probably. Yeah, I don't know.
I get the attraction to Polymer 80s if you live in a state that has a registry, or you wear even more of a bigger tinfoil hat than I do. But I did one of the Polymer 80. Well, let me rephrase. I attempted to do a Polymer 80.
You did one of the old ones, though.
Yeah, I'm not very patient, and I might have had a couple adult beverages too, and it didn't come out very well. And
great!
No, I never even tried to
Honey,
finish
I'm going
it.
to go build a gun.
never,
Hold my beer.
I never even put the locking block in or anything. I was just like, man, I'm done with this. My concern, honestly, I got no problem with the guys that are into the 80% builds. I'm not into them because I'm not patient. I don't like them on ARs. I don't like them on Glock. I don't like them on anything because I just want to buy the thing and I want it to work right there. I'm not a gun manufacturer. I don't know how to make stuff work. The one thing I am kind of curious about is why a Glock 43, and I can only imagine that it's probably the majority of people building these are going to carry them. And I don't think that's a very good idea to carry a gun you built unless you're like a manufacturer. And I'm not even talking from a legal aspect. Like that whole thing that's an argument that no. But I'm not a gun manufacturer, so I'm not carrying something that I made. I don't know, because does anyone actually enjoy shooting a Glock 43? Maybe there's people that do, but they're not fun to shoot. They're tiny. They got a lot of recoil. So, like, if you just want a range
you don't have
toy,
enough
maybe
mass to help absorb the recoil in these things.
I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people are going to get these to carry them, and I get it for states like where Tony lives, to where it's, it's they don't.
Illegal to do. Illegal to do.
What would happen if you were to get California?
You can't even do 80% up there, can you?
Nope. All right. Here's the thing. I feel that there are people out there that can successfully build a home build like this because they don't get liquored up to do it like our co-host here.
Oops.
I have no I love the thought process. I'm going to build a firearm. Let me have a couple of drinks before I do that.
It was like 2 beers, to be honest. I didn't get liquored up, but still.
Yeah. Oh, okay, officer. I only had 2 beers. I usually park on the sidewalk. I've never seen any episode of Cops where anyone had more than 2 drinks, no matter if they were off a cliff or not.
I always drive on the median.
Hey,
exactly.
You don't have to specify what size those 2 beers were.
Yeah. 40 ounce magnums, right?
I really feel that if you are going to have any self-defense firearm, you should, put some rounds through it. And if you built it and you feel your belief that this thing is an effective self-defense firearm, I suggest you put 1,000 rounds of friggin' full metal jacket in, so everything's broken in and any problems that should come up do. And my whole thing is at least 2 to 3 boxes of whatever self-defense ammo you have just to make sure it works. And, that's like $60 worth of ammo.
I'd go one step
with
further,
the self-defense
honestly.
ammo.
I would say
What's
take
up?
a class with it because
just
out of the range, pewing, stuff tends to work. When you start getting a little pressure and you start shooting from weird positions, that's when things start to fall apart.
And even if you can't or can do a class, at least shoot some competition with it because it puts stress on the gun, even shooting from weird ports.
It puts stress on the gun and it puts stress on you. So all of a sudden you're not easing the mag into the magazine well, you're slamming the mag into the magazine well, and you got to see what happens with it. You're drawing from concealment. My thing is you got to test this gun, especially if you build it. Legal aspects, hey, I'm not a lawyer. I have no idea. There's people like Andrew Bronca and others out there that can read books and find out about it.
Oh, and what about that guy that you're supposed to vote for, Adam Kraut?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you that I would not use this as a concealed carry gun because if you should ever defend yourself with it, I can promise you that it'll just be something else. You'll have to argue about why the prosecutor is wrong to go after you for using this as I just wouldn't do it.
I hear that a lot on the internet, but no one can point me to a single case where that's ever been a thing. So
and understand a good shoot is a good shoot, usually. But a good shoot is a good shoot, but still they can come after you for a lot of different things. But that's why you know the law. That's why you have insurance, and that's why you ask questions before you put this thing in your holster and carry it as a self-defense. If you have U.S. Law Shield, any of those, you can make a phone call and find out whether this is a good idea for your self-defense gun or just a hobby range gun, fun thing that you can build. Ask questions before.
I know the way I would build it, and I wouldn't trust my build with my life. This would be a range toy for me.
And that's kind of the thing where I'm getting at is I don't think a Glock 43 sounds like a fun range toy. Like a 19 or 17, those are fun. Those are fun guns to shoot. I've never enjoyed shooting a 43 or a 42, even for that matter.
Nope.
They're not
Right.
fun.
Yeah,
I don't think so either.
I get it. I mean, yeah, I've had good luck with my 17 and 19 polymer 80, the new ones that are easy to do because, of course, I didn't have 2 beers before I did it either time. But, you know, it's just kind of the same thing. And as we all know, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people just like to build stuff just for fun. I mean,
Sure. And that's,
yeah, it's great. I mean, you like them enough to build one? Go for it. I mean, yeah, and it's kind of one of those things. Maybe you want a small pistol to throw in your glove box or something if that's something that you do. But hey, that's to each their own. Well,
I see the guys who do like the 80% like ARs, and they typically those like cost like more money than a blower, but they enjoy doing it. It's part of the hobby. To me,
right,
that ain't fun. I want to shoot.
Right,
So,
and that's the thing is, yeah. Well, and if you want to build one of these, we're going to segue right into the next product, which is the Grey Ghost Precision Glock 43 stripped slide.
Now this is way more cool.
These are pretty cool. MSRP on them is $349.99. And because the new phone who disc guy that now works for them, he actually texted me some more information that wasn't on the site, which was pretty cool. But what he
still talks to us
once in a great while. You know, I sent him a text last week for his birthday, and he never replied until today because I guess, you know, we're talking about products. But they're making it's pre-orders. I actually knew about this a long time ago because I was harassing Ryan because they had a press release, and then I went and looked it up and searched it on their site, and it showed up. And he did not know that if you searched it, it showed up. So I took a screenshot and was trying to threaten him with it, but that didn't work because they weren't actually even released or anything. But their first batch is going to be in DLC, which is diamond-like coating, in gray. You can either get the V1 pattern or the V2 pattern. The V1 has angled serrations, and the V2 is like a golf ball pattern style.
That V2 looks
like a cheese grater.
Yes, I actually think so.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's that sharp. They are machining these from basic. They aren't taking a Glock 43 slide and machining it. It's from a bar stock. So,
wow.
You know, they machine it with tighter tolerances than the factory slides because they can. The diamond light coating helps with lubricity and, of course, strength and all kinds of other such things. It is compatible with OEM parts and barrels. Grey Ghost, according to him, is going to have barrels. And I asked him if I could talk about it. He was like, yeah. So they will be selling barrels for these. And the initial release is, I think he said it was for law enforcement only. But then once they get them released, they will be releasing them in burnt bronze, FDE, and black, all in the diamond light coating. So there is that. He said, as of right now, they don't have any optics cuts on them, just normal iron sights.
There's really only one optic that fits on a G43 anyways, and
it's the Shield Mini or whatever it is. But, you know, so, you know, this thing is pretty cool, and I have one of their Glock 19 slides that they also machine from solid steel for the tighter tolerances, and that thing is tight. So I can imagine that this is going to be the same. Right now it says 4 to 6 weeks to ship. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to build something, you might as well put a slide like this on it. They're one of the few making true slides for it. What do you guys think?
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
think it's interesting. I think it's a high quality slide. I still think the Glock 43 is a pain in the butt. Excuse me, in the hand to shoot. Um, you can pretty it up as much as you want, but you still end up with a painful dang gun to shoot. Um, and that's fine. I mean, because truthfully, most people carry their guns more than they shoot them anyway, and they
Yep.
look at them more than they
I
shoot
think
them anyway.
this slide looks really functional. I think a lot of these companies that are cutting up on slides are doing things just because they can. And it's like, I don't want windows and all the weird stuff. I want deep rear cocking serrations and deep front cocking serrations. I want a cheese grater slide because I want to be able to rack the thing off of anything I might need to do. And I think this slide, based on the pictures, looks very functional in that aspect. So I think it's cool. I'm not a fan of the 43. It's not fun to shoot. I have a 26, which is the same exact size, just a little bit wider. And
much better.
Much nicer to
better.
shoot.
Oh my god!
And I got little hands, and it's still just a 43, just not fun.
So you have little hands, and you like your cocking serrations deep. All right, got it.
Right.
So as I'm,
hey, this is family friendly.
That's a weird turn.
Yeah.
I know. I was checking it out, and this is just to bust Ryan's chops a little bit.
That's which makes it even better.
Wow.
Yeah, which makes it even better because I love you, bro. But when you tell me that the item may take 4 to 6 weeks to ship, and then you have a review from someone 2 weeks ago, and you just came out with it, I'm like, I was on the fence, and the upgrade nearly cost the same as a used G43 by itself. I mean, it's a positive review, but I'm like, well, how does it take that long? Wait a minute, when did it come out? That's all I'm asking. How long ago did it come out that somebody has a 2-week-old review and it takes 4 to 6 weeks and it's a pre-order now?
Yeah, I don't know. It says we can add one to the cart. I don't know.
I'm just saying, if it's a limited edition pre-order, but it takes 4 to 6 weeks to show up, how did he get it January 31st to do a review on it on January 31st?
Under this, the report is inappropriate. Should we click on it?
Yes.
Well, the other thing is anybody can write a review. I can click right now and write a review on it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Listen, if it's one of the guys that pre-ordered or got to look at it, one of the industry guys, just go ahead and say so. Hey, listen, I got this in the mail. They wanted me to review it, and it's good. Big monkey mitts. Anyway, I'm just reading what this guy wrote. Really, I think they make quality products, no doubt, and this is obviously going to be one because it has the build quality of the stuff they've already done, and I'm sure when the RMR cuts come out for the one RMR that works with this, because you want to get a really small pistol that's lightweight and then put a whole bunch of stuff on it,
make it heavy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We went through that with
thank God
AR-15.
You can put a light on it. You can put an RMR. You can put a laser, and then you can get an extended magazine, and do all kinds of stuff on it to make it heavy and blocky and not fit in your pocket.
Yep. But yeah, I thought the slide was pretty cool, and the colors they're coming out with,
awesome.
Not the gray, are pretty cool with a decent coating. It'll help out a lot probably. And as our buddy said on something about our Instagram post, he said it was about time because they have been released for a while. So we're a little slow here, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'd
wait for the black one. I'm not a big fan of sniper gray or whatever gray this is.
The OD one,
submarine gray or
no, it's manatee gray, right?
Manatee.
That's what we decided.
It's like 97 million grays, and I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I do, but I wouldn't get the sliding gray. I don't know. I think I'd probably wait for the OD green one that they don't even list. But there is no listener feedback this week, so I guess that's a good thing because nobody's hating on us, or
I guess I gotta hate on more stuff.
Or Zane needs to hate on more stuff. So Tony, take it away with your 2A for diversity shoots.
All right. Our next event is coming up on April 5th. Between now and April 5th, we're working on a couple locations. One in Harrisburg, PA, another one in Lancaster, PA. And I have to really get on the thing that's going in Maryland. We're trying to really grow this year. Coming up on Friday, we're going to launch a Patreon account, and we're thinking of cool things to actually get people that become Patreons above a certain level. We're going into that. We're talking about some exclusive auctions or stuff like that might be available. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. We're also going to launch the T-shirt sales again. What's going on in 2018 is me actually trying to raise money to get things done because I've been running out of pocket for the last 4 years. And for us to grow, we're going to have to get some stuff done that requires money to do legal minutia and take this away from Tony throwing a party and it being a hobby to us getting stuff going. I actually got a couple of emails from someone asking about the 501c3 status. I have stuff in the works for that, but financially, a lot of different things have to happen. And sometimes it's a choice between having the next event, having money for the next event, or trying to get legal stuff done. So that's why we're reaching out, trying to get Patreon going, doing PayPal, doing GoFundMe. So if you really want to help us, you can go ahead and work on any of those fronts. If you want to have something monthly, you can join Patreon. So by the time this airs, this should be available. And we're just trying to make the events grow and get more people in. Last time we had 70 people and it overflowed the place. So for the April event, we're probably going to pre-sell tickets and just have a limited number because we took over the entire range. We just swamped the place. And some people didn't think they were going to get the shoot, and they did. So if you want to really find out what this is about, go to diversityshoot.com. I have like a 2-minute video of one of our events, and it can break it down for anybody that wants to know. But a short elevator speech is we break stereotypes. We bring new shooters in, introduce them to shooters and Second Amendment groups, and we just bust up the media-driven negative stereotype about firearms owners. And we give you a bunch of cool stuff like Rob's Rifle to Shoot, or Firearms from Henry, or Firearms from High Point or Donated. And I think we're going to have a AR-15 manufacturer from New York at our next event in a port. So he's going to introduce you to some New York legal and New Jersey legal firearms for what may be coming down the pike. It should be interesting. So that's what's happening, diversityshoot.com. And always, thank you for having me on like you have been for a really long time. I really do appreciate what you allow me to do and talk about.
Hey, we're going to kick you off.
Okay. Well, listen, it was really great knowing you guys. And, you can check out the Diversity Shoot podcast.
So there you go. You didn't
on diversityshoot.com.
Yeah. Don't forget to pimp your podcast. Okay. I still haven't been a guest on it, so it must not be that good.
Oh, well, we have a high level of quality, and that's why you haven't been invited on because, well, we don't really want to drop that quality.
Yeah, I get you. I guess we'll move into the wrap up. Send questions or comments.
I was going to say they're going to invite the old white guy on for the diversity podcast.
Yeah,
really
I would not. I'm not Aaron from We Like Shooting. Give me a break here.
Oh, dude, he predates white guys. He was around when there was Zeus and the Titans.
So send questions, comments, feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. If you'd like to sponsor the show, hit us up on the email, and we could always use a sponsor or two. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out at Facebook at Facebook/Firearms Insider. Follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram. Thanks for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Bye, Felicia.